The COVID-19 pandemic affected everyone. All over the UK, charities and community groups had to adapt their work in incredibly challenging circumstances, doing whatever they could to continue supporting their communities in a new and uncertain environment. The community transport sector was a shining example of this. As regular passengers began to self-isolate and journey numbers dropped, CTA members radically and rapidly adapted, putting in place new services to get their resources where they were needed the most.
Pandemic. What can we say about the pandemic? I'm one of the customers that's been in for 2 years, and sometimes I couldn't get my medication, wondering how I was going to get to the hospital, doctors and so on, and it was a real worry.
I can't thank these people enough for helping me. When we had to stay in, there was always there at the end of the phone. If I needed food or anything, they'd do it. I can't praise them enough, I really can't.
The volunteer driver service adapted incredibly well to the trials of the pandemic. We had to stop initially passenger transport, but we adapted new techniques to sort of make sure that we connected with the passengers. We worked with the local authority and the health service to distribute PPE equipment. We collected and delivered prescriptions, did food shopping for people, delivered craft packs to keep them entertained. We rang them regularly just as a welfare call, just to make sure they weren't forgotten about.
We lost without them. They're very, very good.
And you're getting the meals? Do you enjoy the meals?
The meals are very good, the deliveries and all are very good.
Very
and
good.
They're always very helpful, the drivers are very helpful. There's so many, can't say who's better than the other because they all have to choose them. They're very, very good now.
Our members stepped up to the plate, working with local supermarkets and food banks to make sure that isolating passengers got the supplies they needed, delivering prescriptions, hampers and activity packs, making thousands of calls to check in and ensure the people that relied on them didn't feel alone, all while continuing to run essential journeys and making sure that the highest standards of safety were in place.
So since the pandemic started, we've maintained a thorough cleaning regime, which means that every morning before the buses actually leave site, they receive an in-depth thorough clean from the front right the way to the rear of the bus. And when they return to site, we make sure that process goes into effect as well. And I feel very, very pleased to be a part of that because it means that we are safe, our passengers are safe. So it's been a pleasure to be able to do that for Redibus and for passengers.
Yeah, I feel very safe with the traveling with the Redibus because the drivers are not only driving the bus, but they do more than just driving. They are very caring, and by that I mean they do make sure that we are safe in each and every way.
And as the pandemic changed, so did our members, adapting at a moment's notice to help people access vaccinations and, when the restrictions allowed, to get back to their communities and reconnect with each other.
We've just coming to the end of quite a frenetic period of COVID vaccinations, and we've done hundreds and hundreds of trips to York and to the mass vaccination centre and to the hospital and doctor's surgeries in and around Rydale, making sure that everybody gets their vaccination in good time.
I used to take taxis, but when the virus came along, the taxis wouldn't let me sit in the front, and I need to sit in the front because I'm disabled, and the car scheme allows me to sit in the front, and that's why I like them. I've been for the vaccinations, jabs, and I've also been for me to the chiropodist. They take me shopping, and they also take me out for a meal at Witherspoons and other places that I've been to.
Now we're busier than ever, taking people for boosters, for flu jabs, to medical appointments and getting them all back to the social groups.
I'd like to tell you about the pandemic and how I felt through the pandemic not being able to go out on my Redibus. We kept in touch by telephone, but that is not the same as seeing people face to face. When
I was out of quarantine, I went back on the Redibus and was so thrilled. I was relieved as anything when I made my first journey to say that we were back together again. And it was such a lovely fit. You'd think we were long lost friends, but I'd only met them on the Redibus.
Thank you to the volunteers, the drivers, the passenger assistants, the office staff, the phone call makers, the activity pack planners, to the cleaners, the friendly voices at the end of the phone, the frontline workers of the community transport sector who have done so much for so many people during the coronavirus pandemic. Your impact has been enormous, and we're proud to have each and every one of you as our members.